I didn't play Life is Strange until well after it had come out, and after I finished it, I went online immediately to see what people had thought about the ending. And I was surprised to see that the general consensus was that saving Chloe is the bad ending, because you should save the town as the good of the many outweigh the good of the few. But I felt like the town was the few, and the surrounding towns were the many. And that's why I wanted to talk about why saving Chloe is actually the good ending. Which brings me to the point that the Prescotts and their real estate company are the true villains of the game. So after Max sees a deer by itself, she brings it up to Samuel Taylor. He tells her that because there are no deer left in Arcadia Bay, it must be her spirit animal, and considering its transparent appearance, we can assume that is true. Then a fisherman by the diner tells Max that there aren't many fish left because the Prescotts are forcing the wildlife out of the area. You then hear from multiple people that the Prescotts own all of Arcadia Bay and want to expand to surrounding areas, so you could assume that that threat to wildlife would expand to those areas as well.
You have your own boat?
I call her the Bali High. I've kept a hold of her in these lean days. Might be all the time we've got left.
I thought one of Arcadia Bay's main exports was fish.
Oh, the fish used to jump onto my boat until the Prescotts and their finance fiends snapped up harbor rights.
The Prescotts have a lot of power.
They might rename the town Prescott Bay, if that tells you much.
Do you know them?
Too good for my working kind, but I know them through their bad deeds. Let's not get downcast. I hear the fish calling for Bali High. Never forget that old fishermen never die. We just smell that way.
I'd love to learn more, but I have to get going. Happy fishing out there.
As the game progresses, you learn that the Prescotts are extorting people all over the town. You even find a 100-year-old letter in a barn, and it contains a threatening message from a Prescott to a resident of Arcadia Bay, so they've been threatening people for hundreds of years, or however long they've been active. The game doesn't really clarify. With this information in mind, the two endings have a very different impact. Instead of Chloe being the few and the town being the many, the town of Arcadia Bay is the few and the surrounding areas are the many. If you save the town and let Chloe die, the ending cutscene has a somber atmosphere, while the cutscene, if she lives, is brighter and happier. But aside from this, the symbolism in the cutscenes is pretty obvious. If Chloe dies, then it shows Max at her funeral, and there's no deer there at all. Max doesn't see her spirit animal. We can assume that she never sees her spirit animal again, which could symbolize that the wildlife never returned to Arcadia Bay. If Chloe lives, there's a close-up of a billboard for the Prescott's real estate business that's been destroyed by the tornado, and this could signify that their reign of terror is over. And then, immediately after that, a family of deer cross the road to show that the wildlife are able to return. So, that's pretty much my argument for why saving Chloe is the good ending, but I do realize that this game is all about experience, and then those things you could play through the game without experiencing. You might not talk to the fisherman, you might not find the letter in the barn, and then the endings would have a completely different impact on you, because maybe you spent the entire game meeting everyone in Arcadia Bay, and then letting them die would be a much worse ending than to save Chloe. even though regardless of your experience, she's still a major part of the story, the other characters may have just had a larger impact on you because of the way you played through the story. That's pretty much it.